Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks. Okay, so today's topic, COVID diaries. Oh my God, yes, I ended up getting COVID. So I had been tested June 30th PCR. I was negative. That particular 4th of July weekend, against my own principles, I went to the gym. And it's interesting how when you're the only person wearing a mask amongst all of the other members, you feel a little self-conscious. So I did, half the time had it on, but the other half I had it dangling from my ears. And, you know, back and forth. I don't know when I felt which was worse, having it on and being like glared at, or having it not on and then being that much more uncomfortable. So I did that for 2 days because my best friend was in town. And then that Sunday night, I fell asleep with the air conditioner on. And when I woke up Monday, I was like, oh, I felt like I had fucking rimmed Mr. Sandman. It was horrible. But I just assumed that like, okay, well, I, you know, was having a reaction to the air conditioning. But then that Monday night, I went to sleep and when I woke up at like 3 in the morning, I was all like sweaty. And obviously I had some night chills. And so I took a rapid result test that morning. It was positive. Then I went to my local tent, did a rapid and a PCR. Both came back positive. So I had contacted my doctor that very same Tuesday. He ordered me paxlovid, which I took from the 6th through the 10th. Then the following week, starting the 12th, I was negative. Took a PCR test to 15, negative. Great. So fast forward, then I was scheduled to work on a show this past week. So it was COVID test Wednesday, work yesterday, the 22nd. Today is Saturday, the 23rd. And even when I accepted the booking, it happened really quickly. And I was in the middle of all this other stuff because my poor father has COVID as well now. And he's 91 and he's handling it well also. But just the mere fact that he has it, I'm like, ah, shit. So I said yes to this gig. And then it wasn't until 5 minutes later when I booked it that I realized exterior and it's hot as hell. We're in the middle of a heat wave. So I took the test Wednesday, PCR test. And then Thursday morning when I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, it showed a positive result. I freaked out. I was like, how am I positive when I was just had the shit 2 weeks ago and I was negative 5 days ago? So I sent through the My Chart a letter to my doctor, and then at 9 o'clock production called me to discuss this. And when I mentioned to them that I had just been positive on the 5th and negative on the 15th, they were like, oh, well, if you were positive on the 5th, then we can exempt you and you're allowed to work. And I was like, huh, what? Well, yeah, because, you know, you could work for 3 months. And when I was asked questions like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm contagious, not contagious? Can I, you know, because how comfortable am I going to feel knowing that I'm positive and being around other people? So I'm asking all these questions. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. Then why are you telling me I could work? And that's what I think the problem is that, like, you know, people talk this half-ass shit and people give all this information, which is kind of like they kind of hear things. There's this other friend also of mine who got it like a month ago. She's like, oh, well, I read somewhere that like I can't get it again for 90 days, so I'm not going to wear a mask. Okay, but can you give it to other people? Or, oh, I don't know. Well, where did you read that? Oh, somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, so my doctor did get back to me at 10 that morning, and he explained to me that when you test positive on a PCR, like, you know, after the 10 days, and in my case, having taken the Paxlovid, then I was fine. But there's always a chance up to 3 months on a PCR test, because you still have it in you, that the particles could like go up in your nose and you can conceivably test positive again. But that's all part of the original diagnosis. So on the 20th was when I did the test, and that's always been my other fear also, is testing positive on production scheduled COVID test. Not that I think they're going to blacklist me or anything, but I just, the whole psychological part of it, it's like I would rather not. Like if I'm going to test positive, I'd rather it be on a test that I've given myself, but that wasn't the case. And so then when he's telling me, oh, you could work, and I'm like, huh? That freaked me out. And I was like, no, I don't want to work. Plus, I'm thinking it's going to be like 1,000 degrees. So I was like, this is my ticket out of here. So I was like, nope. And they were cool with it. But, and then when my doctor explained that, then I felt better about it. Now, on that Thursday morning when I got that result, I immediately gave myself a at-home rapid result test, which was negative. And then I went and got my own PCR test, and it was negative. I found out yesterday. So that's the part that kills me about this also, is I've never heard them say anything about this on the news. Even my doctor, when I was diagnosed on the 5th, should have said to me, when you go to take a PCR test, you know, even after you get a negative result, understand that for the next 3 months, this might happen where it shows up positive, but don't freak out. Instead, from 5:30 in the morning to 10 in the morning, I'm fucking freaking out. So that's another bit of news that I was like, I have to do this video, because that vital piece of information I've never heard. I just hear people talking all this other shit, and I see people not wearing a mask. I see people being a little careless, and, you know, everyone's saying, oh, well, we're going to get it anyway. Okay, well, I will say this much. Me having it, I didn't feel terrible about it. You know, you felt a little off. I was a little tired. I still now, 3 weeks later, I have moments I'm like, oh, I gotta take a nap, or I go to bed early, because then, you know, you still have it in you technically for the 3 months. I guess that means you're just not contagious. I don't know. There's so much information out there and so many different stories, and it's all confusing. And then people talking half shit and not knowing the full story, or information being withheld from us, vital information, which would prevent people from freaking out. It'd be nice had I known that. Anyway, breathe. If you can breathe, it's not tight enough. So that's my story. I just hope everyone is, you know, taking care of themselves. Be smart about this. Get the information. If you're going to say shit, get all the information before you start telling people things. Because you can't tell me something and think that I'm not going to be inquisitive, because I think like a lawyer. And then if you say something and I ask you about it and you're like, oh, I don't know, somewhere, oh, well, then no, bitch, then shut up, then don't tell me shit. All right. If you like what I have to say, don't forget thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Leave your comments. Does anyone out there have the same experience that I did, where like positive and then negative and then positive? Did you know this information about the 90-day thing, or did you freak out like me? Let me know. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy. You know, it's not one thing or another. Now we got to worry about monkeypox. P.S. I'm getting my vaccine next week, Thursday the 28th. Today it is Saturday, July 23rd. It's about 10 a.m. Love you.